Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Well, here comes Semi. We are working with her on the half pass again, but this time our poles are black. She's kind of afraid of white poles from an accident she's had in the past. So we put some black poles down. And she's real relaxed. We're trying to keep her relaxed. Like it. Did that seem right?
Almost.
Almost. What didn't seem right?
I still feel like she wasn't bent around my right leg enough.
Yeah, that's right. If you're going to your right, you want her
Bent around my right leg.
bent around the right leg. Okay, well, she looked to me like she was flexible. So come on back. We'll do it a couple more times. We're not going to spend a lot of time showing when we can't get it, but we're showing you what we can get when we get something new. Well, that sure looked good, and I can see you're giving her a reward by petting her. That looked beautiful. Now, Sarah does have some crops in her hands, and I have some white poles, arm extensions if I want to be big, but I don't want to get her excited. I think she's doing very well. Extremely well. Let's see. Let's do it one more time, and that's all we'll do today, and it's a beautiful day. It's New Year's Day 2013. Maybe we can go for a short trail ride with Semi because they all love to trail ride. That was, in my opinion, almost perfect. I think we've got the half pass going with Semi. And now, slowly but surely, we'll work on the problems we're having with Eve and Sadie. Sadie, an understanding. She did the leg yield last time. Just an understanding so she doesn't bite it or bit and get confused. And Eve, we need a little more softness. Good. She bit at her, she did a little bit of biting at her bit, so go back out the other direction and then take off for your trail ride. And let me know when you're back. It is kind of muddy out there, but it also is a nice day and wide open spaces for trail riding around here nowadays. Yeah, very nice. We have a Western dressage horse who's also ranch versatile, and she's my best cow horse. That's all for today. Well, today we're working with Firecrest, Easter Eve. Sarah has been working with Eve before we turn the camera on, and she seems very relaxed. As a matter of fact, right now she is relatively asleep. So Sarah's going to tell us how she feels Eve is as far as doing short, slow half passes in these black and white poles that we put on the ground. So Sarah, can you tell us how she was before I turn the camera on?
Well, she was pretty relaxed this morning, and I was trying to get her to leg yield like I did with Sadie and Simi to warm up, but she's still a little stiff. She's not really crossing over in the front, and she's losing her forward momentum. So that's something that we need to work on. And I'm going to try to get her to leg yield maybe through the poles first, and then see if I can get the bend in the right direction.
Okay. All right. And with Eve, every one of my three Morgans has their own horsenalities. With Eve, we really want to take small baby steps because as good a disposition as she has, she can get awfully upset if she doesn't know what is the right answer. So we have to break things up into small steps and then give her praise, and then we can usually go on to the next step. So I'm going to be making camera images here, maybe turn the camera on and off a few times so you don't have to see a lot of repeat. But in a few seconds, you'll be seeing Eve enter these black poles that we have on the ground. And color seems to matter with some horses and not with others. Now her neck came up. Sarah is asking for something, and we'll talk to Sarah when she gets back. Now she's going through the white poles. A little bit of failure for forward motion, but it's hard to see exactly what Sarah's asking for with her legs and her hands and her body posture, but we'll ask her when she gets back how it went and what she would do differently on the next time through. We go in both directions, always. Yeah, I see a bit of a leg yield there, but her neck again got stiff. Let's see how she does here. She really is trying. Yeah, tell me what happened the first time through going from south, which is here at the camera's end, to north.
She was just a little confused, and so she was throwing her head up, and then she lost her forward momentum over the white poles. And coming back, she did good. She leg yielded a little bit on the white poles, but then here on the black poles again, she lost her forward momentum, and I don't think she understands what I'm asking her to do, so she just stops.
Are you using spurs?
Yes.
She is. Okay, just a tickle, not a jab. Okay, do you want to crack?
No, I'm going to try again.
Okay, let's go. We'll watch you. My viewers kind of understand that we do everything here in baby steps with repetition. They can fast forward if they don't want to see the repetition, but you know, there is a lot to say about repetition when you're training livestock. So we try to show you, or at least tell you, how much we repeat it, okay? Good, she's getting praise. Her neck came up a little bit, which was hard to see because we're on this side, but let's see what happens here. She looks calm. Now Sarah will turn around and come back and we'll see if we made any progress. I love Eve's frame right now. Ooh, beautiful crossover. I've got that on film. Yes, again, crossover. Okay, can you stop for a minute and tell us what you were asking for and what you got?
I'm bringing my spurs up a little bit and back to kind of push her hind end over. And she's crossing over in the front, so that's really good. And she threw her head up the first time, but coming through these black poles, she seemed a lot more relaxed because she understands what I want her to do.
And you're just trying for a leg yield right now.
Right now.
Which, in case the viewers haven't been following all our videos on half pass, a leg yield is much easier than a half pass. Do you want to try? I think maybe we should leave leg yield well enough alone now. Let's see what happens when you try the other arc.
Okay.
And by the way, I am doing pretty good after my hip replacement 7 months ago, but I do want to continue to get better at riding side saddle, and when Eve understands all of these cues in a stride saddle, we'll try it with Eve again in a side saddle because she's my best side saddle horse. Yeah, it looks like she stopped forward motion and then Sarah brought her hands forward to remind Eve that no, you're not stopping. Now she just looks like she went through the poles, but we'll see when Sarah gets back. She just went through in a straight body frame. It appeared through the white poles. See, in between the pairs of poles, we give her a chance to kind of relax and just do a straight path. And that idea we got from Jack Ballou. A little bit, but she threw up her head. Okay, tell us what's happening.
Cool. This time I'm trying to kind of bend her around my inside leg a little bit and ask her to step over. And she's getting a little bit confused.
And threw up her head, huh?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's just a body language message from Firecrest Easter Eve that I don't understand yet, Mom. So we will continue to teach her. See that we have her double reins on. Eve, when I got her many years ago, did throw up her head whenever she didn't understand. And with the help of Alrag using DancingHorseShow.com, I bought these double reins, which now that you're here close, let me show in the camera why they're great. If you don't need them, they're on a roller. They do absolutely nothing. And the rein part is just sitting on Eve's neck. So the rider doesn't have to hold on to them. But if she needs them, if Sarah needs them, she can just pull up on them. And yes, you see, Eve immediately gives us vertical flexion. So I'm glad you have it on. Sometimes Sarah chooses what tack she's going to use. But with Eve right now especially, because we're trying that very difficult half pass, the double reins could definitely be a helpful piece of tack. Okay, let's try it again.
Okay.
Half pass. No, Eve, she threw up her head. She says, oh, I'm not done. Okay, back, back, back. Any cow horse has to do a lot of backing. As a matter of fact, any well-trained horse has to be willing to back at request. And be willing to back at whatever pace the rider asks for. And it's a very good focus gatherer. She kind of hesitated, but then she crossed over. When Sarah comes back, we'll see what Sarah was doing to tell her. Nice, no hesitation, and she's getting praise. So it must have been an answer that was correct. By the way, weather often has to do with training. It's not windy, but it is overcast and a little bit brisk. Nice.
Good girl.
Okay, let's have one more interview and then let her relax. Maybe you can just ride around
Okay.
our track.
I think the goal today is just trying to get her to do forward motion and crossover. And we're not really concerned about the bend because once she has forward motion and can cross over, we can get the bend really easily.
Okay, all right, and she got praise on that run, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Okay, sometimes it's hard to see from this angle, but you're up there, you're asking her for certain answers, and she gave you the right answer, so we're calling that our moment of resolution. Well, I'm in the side saddle today. I'm Sonia Sokol, the urban cowgirl who has been recuperating for 7 months now from a hip replacement. So I bought a side saddle before my surgery. I tried it then. I keep trying to use it now on Firecrest Easter Eve because she's so even-tempered and doesn't mind the different feelings she gets from the side saddle. And we just did some astride saddle work on half pass with Eve. And she was getting much more calm. She was understanding what we wanted, although we're not completely there. We got a few steps of leg yield and half pass from her. So I said, let's try it next time, weather permitting. And it is kind of cold and overcast, but not raining and not windy. So we're going to try now with me in the side saddle and maybe Sarah next. We'll see how it goes for me, to ask Eve to go through these ground poles, which are a training aid for us. First I'll ask for the leg yield, and then I'll see if I can get the opposite arc for a half pass. And I'm using two riding crops as my cues, my cue aids, because needless to say, I don't have my legs on both sides. So I want to be able to, let's see if I can figure out how I'm going to touch shoulder, how I'm going to touch hip, or maybe I won't have to use arm extensions. Maybe I will. Maybe I can just look. Maybe she'll understand. We're showing you how it's going today and hope to get better tomorrow. So my camera operator is going to follow me. Step up. Good girl, Eve. Got to get that right sits bone on the right side of the saddle. Looking where I'm going. Good. She's real good about going over her haunches. First I'm going to go straight through. This is just straight through. I want her to see these poles again. She saw them yesterday. She was fine on it. Looking where I want to go. Over her head. On the way back, I might try a leg yield. Oh, I'm using my left leg, and I really should be using my arm extension, but let's see. Oh. Whoop. Focus. Look over. I am real confused about these arm extensions. When I'm doing a leg yield, Sarah, let's discuss it. We learn by discussion, and the viewer might too. When I'm trying a leg yield, I'm wrapped around in this direction, my left leg, and I want forward motion and crossover in the front. What would you do with your arm extensions? Because I really need to just leave her head alone. She doesn't understand when I grab the reins.
If your left leg is not giving her enough pressure, then use your left arm extension, maybe more closer to her butt, so she knows to move over.
Which means I have to let go of these reins. I have to trust her because she's gonna be getting cues some other way, and I don't want to interfere by giving her mixed signals. All right, I'm gonna do it again over here with the white poles. I'm going to hold both reins in my right hand. Whoop, whoop. And that worked. I didn't interfere with her mouth, but did I get the crossover?
No.
Okay. All right, let's try again. Now on the right side, it's going to be a different story because I have no right leg pressure. Let me turn around and we'll talk about what I want to do with my reins and my arm extensions. Watch how cute Eve is when I ask her to turn. Whoop. It's just like we're on a pedestal. She knows to use her haunches. Okay, what do you think?
I think this way you can ask her to step forward and still try to use your left leg to move her over.
Move her over in that direction, in the right direction?
Yeah, so she's facing basically the square pin, and you're asking with your left leg to kind of push those haunches over, but keep forward motion.
And no arm extension.
No, try lifting your left rein a little bit.
Let's try again here in the black ground poles. Sitting kind of more on my pockets. Oop.
That was better. She had the right bend.
Yeah, she did have the right bend, but did she cross over?
No.
Oop. Okay.
Keep trying to ask with your left leg.
Yeah. Okay, even going in this direction.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I'm doing a leg yield, so even though I'm going in this direction, I am going to be getting the crossover.
You're facing towards me.
Yeah.
So you're going to ask with your left leg. You want her bent towards your left leg.
And the crossover is towards the camera.
Yes.
Okay. She's being so patient.
Very good.
Whoa. Very good. We got him very good, Evie. Very good. And you know what? I think it would be perfect now. Sarah was doing this with Eve with the astride saddle. I think it would be perfect now to switch riders and have you try it and tell us what you're doing when you do it. I think you almost have a better innate understanding of what you have to do because timing is critical. And I want to stop on my note of resolution.
Okay, I'm going to try to do the leg yield with Evie. And once we get that, we're going to move on to a half pass. I'm still using our white poles and our black poles at an angle just to help me get the right diagonal to where I'm going and so that I can figure out if I want her to bend around my left leg or my right leg.
It requires constant thought, doesn't it, until it becomes innate. So, all right, with repetition, we'll figure it out too. All right, I'll follow you, and then when you get back close to camera's range, since we don't have mics today, if you want to say something, say it. Otherwise, we'll just interview you after you've tried it.
Okay. Step up.
Little bit of confusion. We lost forward motion. That's only because she's not quite sure what is the right answer. And when you turn, you can do a railroad track circle, or you'll see she just spins around her haunches so nicely. I'm trying to follow you with the camera, so I'm not actually able to watch whether or not she's crossing over or having the right bend or anything. So do stop on your way back here. I saw that you used your arm extension with constant pressure. Maybe a little bit of rhythmic pressure would get her attention better. She's trying to understand. And I'm trying to watch you and aim the camera, so I hope I haven't lost you. Yeah, it looked like she crossed over.
Yeah, one step.
Yeah, and one step is better than 0 steps. If we can get 1 step this direction, maybe we'll quit for today. Yes.
Good girl.
Yes. Yes, and this is our north-south track. It's our driveway covered by sand, so we can do this kind of work here, and we have somebody who just came in the auto gate who wants to come through, so I think we've got a message here that says, let's stop on this note of resolution. And we are looking forward to doing some more half-pass training, leg yield training in every kind of saddle, maybe even a no saddle one of these days soon. Today we're working with Sadie, no saddle. We've got a side pull, so no bit. We're asking her to do a half pass with the proper bend and the proper foot pattern. Wow, she's doing really good today. We practiced with her in an English saddle about a week ago, and we didn't have the mic sounds correct on the camera, so we said, let's just do it again with no saddle. Here she comes. It feels really good to ride her with no saddle because we get a lot of contact, and she's got a nice, almost couch-like back. She's an old-style Morgan. Gosh, that's about as good as we've ever gotten. Let's do it a few more times. We're still using our poles to give us a corridor to walk through. We're not ready to pick up any speed. We're just trying to get all 3 of our Ranch Versatile Morgans to be consistent in giving us the proper bend and the proper foot pattern for a half pass. Good girl. That's about as good as anybody has done. I'll bet you Sammy, who did it really well in a Western saddle a couple weeks ago, would be just as consistent. Eve, we're still a little bit arguing with her confidence because she doesn't understand the bend sometimes. So we're just giving her the opportunity to be confident, to understand our request, and Eve, who's Sadie's mom, will soon be doing a half pass just as good as Sadie is doing it today. And I'm Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl, trying to be the camera person today because our team is short, 1 person today. Now when you go through this time, Sarah, let's stop here. Tell us what you're doing to cue, what you're feeling. Sadie looks extremely relaxed. And it's not windy. It's cold, but not windy. So let me come a little closer and Sarah talk into the camera and let us know from the rider's point of view how it's going.
Okay, so going towards the gate in the driveway this way through the white poles, she's bending correctly to the left around my left leg, and moving her hips away from my right leg that's giving pressure, which means she's giving me the correct bend and the forward motion and the angled momentum of a half pass. However, coming back through these back pulls, I'm still getting her only leg yielding. I haven't quite got the correct bend yet. So.
Okay, all right, then let's not do the white poles anymore right now. We'll call those as accomplished today, our subtask. Let's just work for a couple more minutes on the black poles, and then we'll do another interview and find out from you if you feel you're getting the correct bend. Now, a leg yield is always much easier than a half pass, but it's kind of a prerequisite skill to being able to get a half pass. Here comes Sadie. I'm actually going to move the camera to the other side of the arena, of the track that we're working on. We're not in the arena by choice. We like to work on our straight track when we feel it's safe. Let's see if we can see from this point of view how Sadie is bending. I didn't see any crossover. No crossover yet. Oh, I saw a crossover. Did you feel good about the bend?
Only that last step.
Yes, only the last step. Well, you know the last step is a baby step toward achieving our goals. And she gets praise, she gets patted when she gives us ever so slight the right answer. Yes, very good. All right, can you come on back here? Just some finish words on what you're suggesting we do with Sadie next.
So she's giving me the correct bend and the half pass moving towards the left. However, she's still not really giving me the right bend that I want, moving towards the right. So maybe this next time we just put a line of poles down the driveway, not angled, and we try to get her to move towards the right, moving away from my left leg pressure.
Yeah, a longer corridor.
Right, and bend around my right leg.
I was even thinking about that this morning, and if the arena stays dry, we might just set that up in the arena too, and give her some more practice. And so we're finished for today with Shadrach, Sun and Shine, Sadie. See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.